Hey guys, and welcome to the most comprehensive gun Kelvin guide on the internet. And I'm being serious because this is the only one there is. I have over 1,000 hours on Deadlock. I've been playing Kelvin since the public announcement of Deadlock over a year ago. I have over 500 games on him and around 100 recently on gun Kelvin alone. Kelvin is actually one of the easiest gun carries to pick up in this game, because he has one of the safest landing phases in the game due to his heal nade and ice dome, as well as having some of the highest base stats in the game, while his DPS is actually on par or can be higher than other gun carries. Now his weakness is that he has a slow bullet velocity, which can be mitigated by leading your shots, and most fights we're going to take are going to be up close or mid range anyway. But on the upside, you don't get one shot like Haze or Wraith. And the first three items are really cheap and simple. It's rapid rounds, extended magazine, and close quarters. And with close quarters, you might want to sell it later for slots, or if you want to experiment, you can later upgrade it to point blank. After you get these three items and one optional 1600 item, you're going to buy straight into intensifying magazine, because it's going to give you a bigger mag and 45% max weapon damage as you hold down left click. And this is one of the biggest damage spikes in the early game. And then right after, we're going to upgrade our Titanic magazine and get a bigger mag, so we can hold down our left click for even longer. Then we're going to get Swift Striker and Fleet Foot so we can move faster while shooting. And then the next big damage spike is Berserker. It's going to give us up to 70% weapon damage if we take 700 damage. And later on, when you have higher armor, you don't even need to take 700 damage. You just need to mitigate 700 damage, which in the later game is only going to be like 350 damage to your health bar. And now that we're doing a lot of damage, it's time to buy some bullet lifesteal, and it's going to heal you a lot, probably close to the same as your grenade. And then we're going to upgrade into Fury Trance. This item is overpowered. It gives you 40 spirit resist when you activate and 40% fire rate, as well as 6% more bullet lifesteal. And with this item, I usually end up getting the most healing out of it, even more than my dome or my grenade. And we're in a spirit meta, so this item is just overpowered. Now you can also buy some new optional items like Hunter's Aura after Berserker. This item is actually amazing for taking 1v1s, even if there's other people around, because if just one person gets close to you, it's going to triple the effect and give you minus 24 bullet resist to the enemy, as well as minus 36 fire rate. And this item can actually just win you 1v1 gunfights so easily. So you can slot this in after Berserker if you want. Also, you can upgrade point blank, debuff remover if they have a lot of debuffs to burning, and of course you can also experiment with high fire rate like burst fire. Now that you bought the mid-game core damage, you're going to be at around 1300 souls, and you're going to start leaving the laning phase. At this point in the game, you can buy straight into armor, spirit, or bullet, or if you want bullet and damage hybrid, Scaling Resilience. And then you're going to choose a route to go down into. Or you can go straight into the 6k route, buy one or two items, and then buy armor. But at full build, we are going to have one armor or both. To pick your route, and the suggested route is route 1, which is damage, which is full out damage, which is Glass Cannon and Lucky Shot. When you buy these two items, it's going to absolutely max out your weapon investment tree, and there will be no point buying any more gun items. So that's why you're going to go tanky after. Now Glass Cannon and Lucky Shot does a lot of damage, and they synergize really well together, because Glass Cannon is 80% weapon damage flat, and then Lucky Shot basically calculates to a 25 or 30% DPS damage increase, as well as having 40% max ammo. This is the main build, because picking people off fast is the meta, not just sitting there and tanking. You want to kill people fast and quick. This is the meta route, but we have two more fun routes left. Now for route 2 is the damage / tank hybrid. So you're gonna buy Frenzy and Siphon bullets, or they're dependent on you. Frenzy just gives you movement speed, fire rate, more spirit resist, and even more when you're below 50%. And this turns you into a speed demon, and you can just run away from every fight or chase anyone down that you want. Siphon bullets is also great because it gives you bullet resist, some weapon damage, and you just get to steal enemy HP and give it to yourself, which makes you even more tanky. Now this is route number 3. It's the new one. It's going full tank. We're basically just going to build full resistances. When you go this route, Make sure to buy the cheaper resistances first because they're better for the value. Once you get these two, you can buy plated armor against weapon damage and spellbreaker against spirit. And you're going to have both of them, which makes you extremely tanky. And your damage is still respectable because you have Berserker and Fury Trance. So now you're at full build at around 32,000 souls and you still have money left over. Well, if you want the damage route, you can of course buy Siphon Bullets because it's a green item and you get to steal HP. You can also buy more tankiness like plated armor and spellbreaker. And if you go this route or route number 3 and you max it out, you can then buy items from the other routes as well. So these are just the best items for Kelvin in general. And then of course we have optional items at the bottom that you can experiment with and try for fun, like Crushing Fists, which probably isn't good anymore, and Colossus, which is going to make you extremely tanky, which is funny, and Armor Piercing Rounds. If they stacked a lot of armor, it can actually be good. Healing Tempo is good if you're going perhaps a slash support build. Vampiric Burst is good if you don't want to use Fury Trance, and Crippling Headshot is just going to lower their resistances further and reduce their healing. Okay, so now it's the laning phase and you're going to buy those 3 early game items, and as you can see, it makes you really strong early on. You do a lot of damage, especially up close, so you're going to want to take up close brawls and make sure to dome the enemy with you. And if you want to make it even better, dome your teammates, you and the enemy. That way you can almost guarantee a kill as the enemy is going to be trapped with you. The biggest gun Kelvin tip I can give you is to aim at head level because your fights are going to be up close and you have very big bullets. And even though Kelvin does reduce gun damage to the head, it's still going to be a lot of extra damage. One common trick with Kelvin is to get near an enemy's face and throw your heal nade at your feet. That way you get the healing and they get the damage, and that creates an even larger health gap. The second trick is to use your dome to stop enemies from escaping. And now you can secure kills that otherwise would have gotten away. The next tip is that when you run out of ammo, you can activate your beam to take the souls from your minions. You can also use this to steal them. Now, this is Kelvin's best movement ability, which is Ice Path and activate Fleetfoot. The order technically doesn't matter, but for the longest duration, activate Fleetfoot after Ice Path. And now Mina's going to try to kill me, and I'm going to activate Fury Trance and live out her burst. When all the guardians go down, laning phase is basically over, and so you're just gonna want to go to your lane, stay there, catch the minion wave, kill it. Once you kill the wave and push the wave out, you now have free time to go into your own jungle and farm the creep camps. You got 1 or 2 easy camps, get those boxes, and then come back to your lane to catch the next wave. Now if you're ahead and you're winning and you can easily take an enemy team, you can push the wave and go to the enemy jungle and take their resources away from them. Just be careful that you don't get ganked and you're aware where everyone is on the map. Knowing when to push a walker is the most game deciding skill. There's been so many times where my team pushes a walker and they have a lash, they just grabs them all, kills them all, and we lose. It's really important that you don't push walkers that are being defended because walker gives you resistances to the enemy team. So if someone is defending a walker, you generally just want to leave it alone and stay back, because people that are going to come off the zipline can easily jump off and cover a lot of distance to kill you. This can give a lot of free kills to the enemy team, and you just don't want that. In general, try to not overextend under the enemy walker unless you see that the whole team is somewhere else or they're dead. Now let's suppose your team gets 2 to 3 picks in the mid game. Usually teams will call, let's go mid walker, let's go that walker. No, it's really dangerous and risky because 1 or 2 people is enough to defend a whole walker, but 1 or 2 people is not enough to contest mid boss. That's why after getting 2 to 3 picks, 3 picks is basically guaranteed, you should just go for mid, and once you get mid, then you can push the walker when you're stronger and have those revives. Now first mid boss is really strong, it gives you 3 revives, 15% fire rate, 15 spirit, and around 15% health, and this is going to be really strong, so I'm about to gain around 500 health just from the mid boss. And here's a secret trick, make sure to get those gun bridge buffs or health bridge buffs, especially health, because that's going to be another 500 health. So I just went from 2700 health to 3700 health and 45 health regeneration per second. If you get this, Go push the enemy and kill them. You just got the biggest power spike in the game ever. Now that you have Rejuve, go and push the enemy walkers and their guardians, their base, and go transform their patron. And then go run the urn to get even more ahead. Now at about 20 or 30 minutes mark, it's now the late game, and here's how you play. It's generally played the same as the mid game, except now you want to make sure that you don't get caught off by yourself and get ganked by the whole enemy team, because if the enemy team gets 1 or 2 picks, they can easily go for mid or walker. So now important that you watch out for enemy lone enemies that are overextending and tell your team to collapse on them. And then you can isolate them with your dome and kill them. In the late game, if you get 2 or 3 picks, make sure to go mid boss. Or if they already have a transformed patron, you can go and end it. But it is much safer to just go for the mid boss, because 4 rejuves is basically a guaranteed win. It's almost impossible to come back against 4 enemy rejuves. Gun Kelvin is really strong, and you can pretty much fight anyone with equal soul value, or even when you're behind. So use that to your advantage. So to recap, don't overextend for walkers, and when you get 2 or 3 picks, go straight for the mid boss.